The more we learn about Cisleden, the more we get a sense of what kind of person Ganabelt is. For one, it is the opposite of Orphis Calaglia, from the environment to the way they rule the realm, but it is just as awful to live in. The contrast between the two places gives a dynamic range of different ways a ruler may control their realm, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The main reason for the contrast is to show the difference between Balsaf and Ganabelt. Cisleden is the realm lacking light and thus filled with snow from how cold it is. We then have the Snake Eyes. What are Snake Eyes exactly? Well, we can have Rinwell tell us.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Well, for starters, nobody trusts nobody.
Come again?
Just like I said, you never know when Snake Eyes are watching you.
That's what they call their lord's henchmen, apparently.
Their official title is the Bureau of Civil Observation. They've got cronies undercover everywhere, observing us at all times.
So? Renin surveillance was an everyday part of life in Calaglia.
Difference is, in Cislodia, it's not just Renins. They've got Danans spying on each other, too. Or in other words, there's the Snake Eyes themselves, plus all their small-time informants. All it takes is someone squealing on you, and it's straight to labor camp. No questions asked, no goodbyes. Course, informers are rewarded handsomely for their deceit. Everyone's always got one eye open, waiting for the moment to inform on someone before being tattled on first.
Okay, so which is it? Do they have small-time informants or no, or anybody can tattletale? Maybe this is why you're like, what, 12? I kid, but you could have been more precise and direct from the start. There's no need to have an elaborate way of saying anyone can report to the Bureau of Civil Observation, aka Snake Eyes, or simply law enforcement, and just like that you are gone. Oh, and by the way, virtually anyone can apply for the Snake Eyes. I like what they are going for with the Snake Eyes, but this is the Snitcher realm. And you know what that means? Anybody and everybody are snakes, resulting in trusting no one as they can betray you at any moment for some profit. As the Snake Eyes will take any reason to send you to the death camps. I mean, they don't tell us that, but you could fill in the blanks. But whether it was intended or not, I would say it benefits the system they have for Cisloden. The best part about this system is that the people keep themselves in check and put less pressure on law enforcement to be proactive, and instead could just wait for someone to tell them who to take away for any suspicious activity. You point and we make it disappear. Just like that. Honestly, it's very much like the Salem witch trials. Those were dark times, just like this realm. But don't worry, at least we have a resistance group, but however, we still keep an arm's length away so that we don't also get in trouble. Or, you can think of it as depressing times. I guess it depends on the person, of course. But this again brings the question about population, how easily and often it happens. It is quite difficult to quantify since there is a lot more to Cisloden than what they show us. But it is likely to be the same as Messia 224, so it would be very likely to have a population problem. But at the rate at which people are taken to the floodgates and compare it to the birth rates, which is impossible, but a decline in population is certainly a likely outcome. But I guess that would lead to potentially having a group of people working together and are loyal to each other, to which the population can grow again, or it can lead to them offering each other up until no one's left. I guess the problem here would be that there's no real way of telling. Although I would say they would likely also have a population problem. And I should have just left it at that. So, going back on topic, the amount of all the tall trees in Cisloden does not make sense to me. There is not enough light for trees to grow that big, and the villagers will chop down trees for firewood. And again, 300 years is a long time for both the citizens cutting down the trees as well as their own shrinking population. However, the trees are not growing back or not very big, and yet the place is filled with trees. I mean, at the very least, they could have reduced the amount of trees to make it a little bit more believable. Oh well, what am I going to do about that? Nothing, so moving on to Ganabelt. With how he rules the realm, hatred is not focused on him and the Renans, and this makes it easier to manage the people if they are fighting amongst themselves, making it that much easier to just sit back and watch them target each other just to survive. Not only that, this allows him to pretend to be a man living among them and become the leader of the resistance group, playing them as fools. He can ensure having complete control of Cisloden. It would be wrong to say that he didn't use force when the Snake Eyes exist, but he employed tactics to ensure complete control of Cisloden. He plays in the dark, which is why he is the holder of the Light Master Core, to steal light and create darkness, to keep everything in secrecy. This makes me think of something like an Antichrist, deceiving people to follow him so that they will never reach the truth or to be free. He is the stealer of hope. Ganabelt hates Alphen and the Blazing Sword of Calaglia because he gave Danan's hope once he defeated Balsif. But now Alphen is here and Ganabelt sets his plan in motion to kill him. This fails, of course. But I love the way they handled Ganabelt's character for the most part. It all blends so well. He wants people to suffer, which is why he did not kill Alphen immediately. That and he was acting as the resistance leader. They hinted towards it with how quickly he accepted them a part of the resistance and was more generous to them than he is normally with others. They point this out to you so you can have suspicions about him, but they make it sound like he did it because his back was against the wall from the Snake Eyes. But once they reveal that Menek was actually Ganabelt, it does not come out of nowhere. And when you have to fight him, he has these flying gadgets protecting him, so breaking through his defenses can be challenging, to say the least. Not to mention, he has some quick sword attacks that can be hard to avoid. Once you bring his HP down to half, is when the real fight begins. He makes 4 clones himself and create a protective barrier around the true Ganabelt as he casts his mystic art. And once it is casted, you are basically KO'd without light resistance. Then you have to fight all the Ganabelts. This is a test to see if you can battle a boss with reinforcements. Both the wolf and the slime boss tested your capability in this department, but now you are fighting copies of the boss. Oh, and don't worry, this won't be the last time you'll have to deal with reinforcements as such. It is only the beginning. At the last bit of his HP, he starts to spam his mystic art, but this time you can attack him as he does his chant. The great part about this is that Law does the finishing blow on Ganabelt to avenge Zephyr's death. What a fitting end, would you say? This is the end of the video, but if you are interested in the game, and if you would like to watch it, do as you please. And with that, goodbye.